we have been discussing the issue of single fatherhood. Now, over the break, guys, of course, the issue of planned and unplanned children has been a topic that doesn't seem to end. But, guys, first of all, you wanted to say something concerning that.
No, it wasn't about that. I was talking about taking care of children.
Yeah.
Before, what used to happen is that there used to be big families, yeah, and then when your family took care of you, the first child, actually, you may agree with me, I think you'll agree with me, that the first child was harassed the most. Yeah. Normally what happens is, if your parents got busy,
you step in.
You step in. So, because you are brought up to be like your father or one of your parents, and you took care of the rest of your siblings the same way your parents would. So people would keep stepping in, and the father being busy or the mother leaving would not affect the family that much. But and that is what you
the leadership was there. But now, Frank, in your case, there is no other support system, I believe. You've got one child. So now, it means all of it is on you. How do you balance because you know what it is when it comes to dropping kids at school, picking them up, there's the homework aspect, then you have to, there's the cooking, making sure meals are on time, they're the right meals. There's a hell of a lot of work to be done. Then, I mean, you're a man. Okay, you have a social life.
No, he has to be on all these shows.
And you have to be on
Yeah, well, you remember what I told you first, that I don't delegate anything to do with my daughter. But it's the easiest thing you can do. Simple. If she's above 14 years, there are senior ladies outside there. I have friends, girls, whom sometimes I invite in home to talk to her. This is how an African woman must be. Women must wake up at 5. When you wake up at 5, what do you do first? What makes you a parent?
John is in shock.
You know, it's simple. I know married people outside there who don't even transfer these values to their children. You get me? So what is important is knowing your responsibility. My dad told us that I hear you guys you're in Kampala, you're in Angenois, you're in Club Silk, but the moment you have a child and you bring him or her here, I'm going to take this young boy to a police station. And he said, I've just picked this. Yes, he's a very understanding senior citizen. He did ask us that, tell me one of you was raised by a grandparent.
Okay, so you did not encourage.
And we are over 30, you won't believe it.
30 years, 30 children.
Children.
Oh, he's better than your grandfather.
Yes. But and you won't believe this. He told us this. Do each and everything on this planet, but don't ever exceed 5 children. And he told us.
He learned from experience.
Yes,
right?
he told us that if it means sleeping with 1,000 women, do it, but don't ever marry more than 1. Because we have they're like 4. My stepmoms who are there. But our daddy paid the price for that. And he told us, you guys, I don't want you guys to go to what I went through. You are getting me? So if I don't transfer those values to my children, trust me, what's the essence of living on this planet?
Frank, you said though that you don't delegate responsibilities when it comes to your daughter. I find that very commendable. But I have to ask you, how does that affect your professional ambitions?
Exactly.
Simple.
As Frank.
Beautiful. My daughter was in a boarding school from primary 1. Actually, let me give you a brief background. I lived with Sheila's mom. She's one of the beautiful young women you can ever hope to meet in town. Her mother, but there are many things we could not reconcile on. And we decided, you know what, the best present we can give this young girl is to separate. Because I don't think we should quarrel every day. Personally, I believe in living a simple, single, happy life than a married, unhappy life. So we agreed. And my biggest challenge then was, where will I take this young girl? I took her to an international school towards Taiba. But the arrangement was that every weekend we are allowed to pick our children back home. Meaning that I would spend from Friday to Sunday with my girl. Now, after P7, I took her to Namagunga for her senior 1. And I realized her dream was not in Namagunga. I said, no, come back home. So now she commutes from home every day. A van picks her at 5. And I have to see who is in this van in the morning. Sometimes when a van leaves home, I have to follow that van and see.
If they're taking that to school.
But so how did this impact your professional ambitions, assuming you have some?
Let me tell you, it doesn't make sense living 1,000 buildings in New York or in Kampala when I die tomorrow, my daughter won't take over me. You get my point?
I think what you're saying is great and all, but I would say that for some people, if they made the sacrifice that you made, and they have professional ambitions that are left unfulfilled because they've made that commendable sacrifice that you've made,
They will be
less happy. That will somehow eat away at them.
The point I wanted to
and so I think that poses a very, very
the point I wanted to throw out,
big challenge
for
a lot of
example, your US president, Barack Obama,
yes,
was staying in a 3-bedroom house in Chicago. Now he occupies the biggest house in the US, isn't it? Do you know why? Because her mother and the grandmother instilled a lot of values and discipline. You get me? For me, I'd rather live one house in Kampala than I'm assured of my daughter to lead this country.
Yeah. Okay. So I think it's
the point is.
But what if Barack Obama himself had been a single parent taking care of those 2 daughters? Would he have risen to the level of senator and then go on to become president?
Sorry, Frank. One of the things that you said a little bit earlier on, and I don't know if we were on air or not, was the issue of consequences. I mean, we have to live with the consequences of the decisions.
There's choices we have to make.
Right? And you make a choice. If you're going to have a child unplanned, then you just live with the consequences of those. And you have to prioritize.
And as a parent, normally there is this thing, and you see it in their eyes, both of them, these guys. Yes, I see it in all your eyes. There's this self-sacrificing bug that hits them. And so what you're saying is there will be ambitions and they'll continue to work. But the sacrifices that they make are not then seen as sacrifices. They're then seen as, they will go to any length, but always seen as a gift to the child.
But does it necessarily have to be an either-or situation? And it seems to me that some people who choose to try to find the right balance between being that parent who's there and at the same time finding some space for themselves may have more energy and less resentment towards that child in the long run, and therefore they would become a better parent.
But you see, you know what?
What John is saying is actually true, and I gather that's now both of you on the same page, Frank. And the truth be told, and Frank, I stand to be corrected, you cannot be your average everyday person. You have to put in more effort because, and that's what I'd actually wanted to do.
Let me give you a simple example. Before coming to this show, I had to drop my daughter to the salon.
Yes.
You get me? I won't tell a special hire guy to drop her.
No, you
get me? And a point I want to give you, my brother, I will always quote your president. He has 2 beautiful young girls. And you won't believe it, those girls watch TV only on Sunday. Do you know why? He doesn't want his children to be raised by TV. You get me? Now you have to decide between the two. Between having fun in Kampala, you call it chilling, and raising a good family. Simple mathematics.
Okay, Joseph, I'll get to my next.
You see, Peter, some people think feeding the child is bringing up a child. I'm an advocate for small families. I have 1, 2, 3 children because if you ask me, the means right now can only support those. But then, what about big families? You know for a fact that where we come from, there have been big families.
Our generation.
Yeah, there have been big families. How do you take care of that? You can be able to see your daughter being taken to school. But what if you have 8 daughters and 4 sons?
But
what happens?
And I need Frank also now to tell us about that. And you mentioned something about what guys in Kampala call chilling. Frank, you're a man. You have to have a social life. We all do. Now, how do you merge the two? Your daughter's an adolescent. There's, you know about the Oedipus complex. It's something which is natural. Yes, and it happens. Now, when you're in a, what do you call it?
Dangerous man.
No, it's the truth. Now, what actually happens with the Oedipus complex? When you're in a family where there's both a lady and a male, a lady and a man, either side regulates it. Now, in the case where you have a daughter and there is no female figure to regulate that, she gets extremely attached to you and also ends up becoming possessive. And owing to the fact that you brought her up, it becomes even stronger because you have a very tight bond. She knows you're the one, this is my father who's raised me. The moment she sees other women coming around you, you're bound to have a problem.
Let me tell you, I've lived the single life for the last 9 years. And I've dated girls, like 3 or 4. And you won't believe it. Every time I bring in someone, because in the 9 years, if you dated 4, I don't believe you're a good dater compared to Kampala guys. You get me? And she has oh my God.
We don't have to look very far.
And you won't believe this. Always she's too close to them. You get me? And she was asking, what happened? I no longer see this person. You get me?
Yeah.
And I'll tell her, you know what? Things not work out.
Yeah.
You get me? And she's aware that she's a candidate for stepmother. Yeah. It's not subject to debate. She knows it.
You heard it?
She knows it.
You've heard it.
She knows it's not subject to debate.
Yes.
Because people have been telling me, Yuga Shuma, why don't you get married? It's not written in the Bible or Quran that you must marry before 40 years.
Yeah.
Or it's not in the constitution of Uganda. As long as I identify the right candidate, a woman that will add value, will transform my family to another level, I walk to the church.
I disagree with the theory. Clearly, because my reality, and not my reality, but what's happening more and more, and this is something that I wanted to ask you and bring up before this August house. I mean, it's more and more what's happening is, you, as John says, you have ambitions, you work, you've got a career, you hit 24. Yeah. What happens for the guys? You then, because you start worrying about 24, 25, you hit about 26, you've settled into your job, you know what you're doing, then you say, now this is where I want to go. So it's a proper 10-year growth, I'm going to try and make this work and make a difference. And then the girls hit 24 and 26 and they're saying, oh, you know what? It's time. So 26, 27, 28, there's that panic. Yeah. And then you have the kid. But then you have career ambitions and she has career ambitions. Oh, she wants to have the kid, but you can't because, it was a one-night stand. It's a very tricky situation. And even if it wasn't a one-night stand, it was a way of trapping the guy, trapping the guy so he can stay. You had tried to have sex with him, he refused. Then you say, okay, let me have a baby with him and see if he'll stay.
Oh, it just happened.
Yeah. Sometimes. But more and more, what's happening, and this is why I say, if you find the right guy, you go to the church. I think that if someone says, I'm going to have your baby, then you think about it. You think about seriously, say, and it has to be really a matter of great magnitude to stop you from saying, I will commit, not for love, but I will commit to make this work and give this child a proper childhood.
Okay, but does it always work?
No.
Sometimes you find yourself in that situation.
I'm saying it has to be a matter of great magnitude to stop me from saying, I may not love this person, because a lot of families are like that, but they will stay for the child.
Are you going to give them
if it doesn't work,
but even that's
we will give it up and walk away.
Don't you think people fall in love for different reasons? Don't you think people...
That's true, yeah.
Let me tell you, you're handsome.
I think people get married for different reasons, and it's not always because of love.
Let me tell you, you're handsome.
No, you can't say it twice. You can only say it once.
Okay. Let's
say it again.
Okay. For example, if you worked for these corporate companies in Kampala, you are the corporate brand manager. They have those big titles.
With business cards.
Wonderful. They pronounce their titles than their names.
Yeah.
This young girl will fall in love with you, not you.
But your
what you have, right?
The moment you are fired from this organization, they love.
First and foremost, you call it falling in love. No, it's not.
It's not falling in love.
Let's first get that right.
Right.
In titles.
You know what? In many forms. Right, guys, we are actually running short in time, so Ransom.
Okay. For me, I think that if we go back to the issue of parenthood and single parenthood in particular, it's about priorities. If you decide that you're going to have a child, or a child pops up by mistake, or it just happens, which it shouldn't. It shouldn't. You should know that every time that you're going to have sex with someone and it's unprotected, there's a very good chance. Because that's how babies are made. So it just happened, or it was a mistake, or I wasn't expecting it, or whatever. It's really doesn't work.
You can plan, but when the woman has her own plans.
No.
Ransom. Dude. People get drunk and do very strange things.
Wait, let's not.
Those are the responsibilities. There are consequences to those things. Once you're in that situation, and if you end up as a father with this child because of whatever reason, whether you've decided to separate, or the mother is unfit, or she's passed away, or whatever reason, the thing is you have to live with the consequences of the decision that you made, and you must prioritize.
But globally, what we're seeing is people taking very concrete steps to avoid exactly that scenario. You have people who are actually putting off marriage until a later age, as you had pointed out. You're actually finding a larger number of people who are not getting married at all. In England, for instance, I think it's just reached over the 50% mark, whereby people of adult, marriageable age are not married. This is a world record. And so people are trying to avoid that kind of scenario in the hopes partly that they can pursue whatever ambitions or dreams they might have.
I think that's a good decision.
Yeah.
Mainly they're saying, we are not ready to do this.
Not ready to do it,
And
we're
I always
taking
tell
the steps
friends,
to do it.
what makes you a man?
But hey, Frank, let this be your parting shot. Give us your parting shot.
Okay. I always tell friends, you know, you hear guys saying, I have 8 kids, blah, blah. What makes making a woman conceive? It's the easiest thing you can do. But what proves you to be man is the responsibilities. You get me? That's why I can agree with him. If you're not willing to carry this burden, why do you go there? It's like the Nigerians have a saying. If you go to a dance hall where there are monkeys, expect the tail of the monkey to hit you.
Monkey tail.
Simple.
Well, some of the controls, some people have been very prudent and they have put off marriage. It does not mean they have put off sex. So people are actually having unprotected sex, and then they expect to go to the pharmacy. What do they call it? To the drugstore next door and
You
buy
know them
pills.
better than we do.
To buy the pill, which for me,
Everybody knows that.
By the way,
which
let me back you up. I have a friend, she runs a pharmacy in Wandega, and she tells me, those tablets sell like sugar.
and I know that for a fact that they are used, but if I'm intending to have a long-term relationship with you, I would prefer to use protection as opposed, because if we are not ready to have a child, I prefer to use protection because those things are dangerous to you. I've been told if you use them very often.
Not only that, it's also out of your hands at that point. Let's say that you did, pass semen into her.
It's not up to her to take them.
You decide, look, take this pill. She has the option of saying, no.
You know what?
And you have to ask yourself, is that a risk you want to take?
Then my dad will tell you, take that young boy to a police station. He's not ready to carry that. And by the way, I agree with him 100%. He's a senior citizen, 75 now.
You want to start bringing him babies.
Yes, honestly.
John, your parting shot.
Single fatherhood, very interesting topic. I do think that we are going to see more single fathers as time progresses here and globally. And part of that is because we're seeing women who are taking the career path. And I think it's likely to lead to women who say, look, I'm not doing this 100% of the time. So guys, be prepared.
I've always said, and the guys here know, I'm very passionate about kids. I'm very passionate about life, and particularly for me because my story is a very strong story of success through hardship. It's that I think that's a very strong drive. So whether as a single father, or as a joint father, or whether as a shared custody, I still believe that if I am a father to someone, they will learn the lessons that I've learned, and I will be able to impart those lessons in their lives. And whether that's, whether they're at someone's house or they're in my house, or I'm taking control of that, wherever I can, I will be to the best of what is humanly possible. I will be in their lives. But also because there are issues of pride involved, as I was saying earlier, you will move heaven and earth and self-sacrifice
to make that
actually
to make it happen. Yes.
Personally, Sheila and her friends really know home. There's no democracy in my house. Yes.
Yeah, there are rules and that's
I told them, you guys never voted for me, so you have to go by my rules. As long as you still live in my house,
there are no term limits.
There is no democracy. I pay your school fees, I pay your medical bills, I clothe you. When you leave my home, there
you have.
But as long as you live in my home,
there's
no democracy. Your right is one: medication, school fees. But this business that I'm above 16, I have the right to go to and have fun. Not in my house.
I think with kids, it's the one time you're allowed to be an authoritarian. Not like what you're just about to do.
No. I'm not being an authoritarian, but we're just out of time.
Okay.
All right, that's it from us tonight. Want to thank you for having been with us tonight. We've been discussing single fatherhood. So guys, stand up to your responsibility. if you are a single father, do not take the kids to your grandparents. Look after them because the children are yours. Now, we want to hear from you. Go to our Facebook page, it's NTV Men, like it, and then talk to us. We want to hear from you. And then you can also follow us on Twitter, that's NTV_men, and you can send us an email on men@ntvuganda.co.ug. I want to say a big thank you to the Sheraton Kampala Hotel for hosting us here in the presidential suite. Fantastic place. And I want to thank the crew, the entire NTV crew that's here with us. And of course, our guests. It's been great having you guys. Make sure you stay true to the cause, Frank.
Do the right thing.
We won't lose the battle.
Be a man.
Be a man.
Be a man.